The moment your father announced he was hiring a bodyguard for you, you thought it was a joke. It turned out he wasn't kidding. After your repeated escapades, sneaking out to parties, late night drives, and even climbing out of your window for a midnight adventure, he'd had enough. Enter Jungkook, your new shadow, stoic, overbearing, and infuriatingly dutiful. He was your age, taller than you, with an athletic build, sharp features, and an unwavering sense of duty that grated on your nerves. You know, you don't have to stand there all night, you said, tossing your hair over your shoulder as you rummaged through your dresser for pajamas. It's my job, Jungkook replied. He didn't even glance in your direction. Your job could use a little relaxation. You, turning to face him. What are you afraid of? That I'll escape through the window? Yes, he said flatly, his piercing gaze momentarily locking with yours before returning to a neutral stare at the wall. A mischievous idea sparked in your mind. If he wanted to act like a statue, you'd see just how unshakable he was. All right then, you said, pretending to concede. You grabbed your oversized t-shirt and a pair of shorts from the drawer. Jungkook's eyes narrowed slightly as if sensing something was up. But he didn't move. You started with your sweater, pulling it off slowly. From the corner of your eye, you noticed his jaw tightened. His eyes were steadfastly glued to the ceiling. Ma'am, he stammered, his voice unusually strained. Shouldn't you be changing in the bathroom? Nah, I'm good, you replied, nonchalantly savoring the faint pink hue creeping up his neck. You tossed the sweater onto the bed and reached for the button on. Jungkook's shoulders tensed. His gaze was resolutely fixed on the floor now, as if it held the secrets to the universe. It's a bit tonight, you mused aloud. I think I'll just sleep in my... You grinned when his face turned crimson. Jungkook took a half step back, as if distance would somehow shield him from the awkwardness. Ma'am, please. Please what? You interrupted, stepping closer to him. You grabbed the tie around his neck, tugging it gently. Can't you look at me? He swallowed hard, his Adam's apple bobbing. No. Why not? You. Your voice dropping to a playful whisper. His eyes darted to yours for a split second before returning to the floor. Because I'm afraid I'll do more than just look. The confession hung in the air, heavy and charged. Your breath hitched, the smile faltering as his words sunk in. Jungkook's hands clenched at his sides, his restraint evident in every taut muscle of his. And what if I want you to do more than just look? You asked softly, your fingers still gripping his tie. Jungkook's head up, his eyes with an intensity that made your heart race. "Don't say that," he said through gritted teeth. "You don't mean it." "What if I do?" He let out a low, frustrated groan, his composure unraveling. "You don't understand what you're doing." "Oh, I think I do," you countered, stepping even closer. The between you was palpable now, mere inches apart. Jungkook's hands up, gripping your wrists, gently but firmly. "This isn't a game," he said, his voice low, and "you're playing with." "Maybe I like thee," you whispered. For a moment, neither of you moved. The air was thick with unspoken tension, the boundaries between professionalism and desire blurring with every passing second. Finally, Jungkook released your wrists, stepping back as if the distance would. "Good night, ma'am," he said stiffly, turning on his heel and leaving the room. The door clicked shut behind him, leaving you standing there breathless and exhilarated. The next morning, Jungkook's demeanor was as stoic as ever, but you noticed the way his eyes on you just a fraction longer than usual. The day passed with the usual routine, but the tension between you simmered beneath the surface. That evening, as you sat on the balcony, watching the sunset, Jungkook appeared with 2 cups of tea. He hesitated for a moment before sitting down beside you. "You're usually quiet today," you, taking a sip of the tea. "I've been thinking," he admitted, his voice softer than you'd ever heard it. "About what?" "About you, about us." He turned to face you, his expression earnest. "You deserve someone who can protect you, but also someone who can make you happy." "I want to be that person." Your heart skipped a beat. "Jungkook, are you saying?" "I'm saying I've been trying to this, but I can't anymore. I care about you more than I should." A smile spread across your face as you reached for his hand. "Then stop it." He leaned closer, his eyes searching yours for any sign of hesitation. Finding none, he closed the distance, capturing Ina that was both tender and passionate. In that moment, all the tension, all the unspoken words melted away. From that day on, Jungkook was more than just your bodyguard. He was your partner, your confidant, and the person who made you feel safer and more loved than you ever thought possible. And for the first time, you realized that sometimes the boundaries we set are meant to be crossed.
She ain't got no drama, but she just got my love. Why you jealous, her, that you ain't got my love?